is Seek and You Will Find tonight, where you get to ask me a question and I'm going to give you an answer in the form of a healing. So whatever your question is, go ahead and write it in the chat bar on the side. And if you address it to admin, it will be anonymous, so nobody will know who's asking the question. So thanks for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and get started by setting the energy with a prayer tonight. As we cleanse and heal the temple of the soul, may it be with the blessing of divinity that it shine its countenance upon us and bring us peace in body, mind, and spirit. Amen. Okay. Now, how this works is I look at a composite of everybody in the sanctuary tonight, and whoever asks the question, I'll give them a healing, but I'll also try to do a healing that's related to their question to everybody in the sanctuary so that everybody gets a healing. I try to do it on every question asked if I can figure out how to make it work for the group. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start with one that I got on my phone. Can you please help me to remove any of the information and patterns of complacency and waiting that I've accumulated over the past 10 years as I searched for my purpose so that I can start actually living it? I now know what I'm meant to do, and I just need a little help following through with my to-do lists and the action steps I know I need to take. All right, that's a really great question because I can work on the person who asked it as well as everybody on the call tonight, because it has to do with taking next steps and clearing the energy between yourself and your next steps. So let me go ahead and take a look, and I'll tell you what I see. Well, the first thing that I see for the person who's asking the question is that your female creative energy is a little weighted down. There's energy in front of you from about your waist up about your head, and it sort of looks like a big ball of dark charcoal energy. And it's a lot of energy that you think might be problems in beginning this quest for your purpose. So let me ground that first, because it's almost like it's pushing down on your creative energy, which gets generated out in front of your abdomen. And that's moving pretty quickly. You know, it probably feels like you're pregnant, because that's where all the energy is being held. And if you think about it, whatever your project is that you're getting started on, it could very well be like birthing a baby. So I'm getting rid of all of that excess weight that's sitting in front of you. Also checking to make sure that your energy is flowing in your channels so that all of that's working well. You're doing an excellent job releasing the energy of potential problems. That's what I'll call that energy vibration. And just where you look at everything that needs to be done and it looks a little overwhelming. As I do that and your female creative energy gets grounded, it's a really beautiful coral pink, kind of like a combination of the flowers that are behind me tonight. And I'm going to get that female energy looping up in your chakras. And I'm bringing your crown up to gold. You did a very good job healing yourself tonight. That went pretty quickly, so good job. And thank you for the request, because now I'm going to work on everybody in the sanctuary, give you all a next step healing. And the energy that I'm going to work for everybody in the sanctuary is similar, but it's more like a block of energy. And what's kind of amusing, at least on my side of the block, as I look at you, is that as beings, I see you guys trying to like, okay, should I go around it? What do I do? Do I go up, above, below? But what we really want to do is get rid of that energy that sits like a big dark square that's like about 2 inches thick of energy sitting in front of you. And again, it's very similar to what I was looking at for the person who asked the question. It's like the energy of being overwhelmed at looking at all the steps needed to be done. So the other thing I'm working on too is bringing you back into present time, because sometimes when we get out on our future timeline, we think of all the things that need to happen, and then you can't do anything because you're not in your body to actually do the creating. This big thick panel of darkness, the panel of darkness, it is starting to release. So this is good. Very good. It's releasing from the inside out. And as that goes away, I see everybody coming into optimism, which I love. Love the vibration of optimism. And I'm going to bring your crowns up to gold. All right. That was a great question. So let me go on to the next one. Please help with shooting pain in my hips and down my legs. Okay. Yeah, I can see the energy radiating in your sciatic nerves. It's a red and a red brown. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a female grounding on you. In the female grounding, we ground the top part of the sciatic nerves. And I'm also going to clean out your hip chakras. Oh, good. I just saw your sciatic nerve start to release into the grounding. You know what's in there? Some of the energy is panic. It's a white energy. Let me get that out there for you. It's kind of lumpy, but it's coming out, kind of like blurt, blurt, blurt. like it reminds me of like congealed cream soup. Okay, now I'm going to work on the hip chakras because that's starting to flow. And the hip chakras are kind of dark, so I can tell they're not spinning very well. So I just want to get them spinning so that that energy can get flowing. And the energy I'm talking about getting flowing would be in the leg channel. So I'm working on just getting that flowing all the way up the channel into the hip chakras. And then it goes from the hip chakras into the first chakra. Well, it's pretty sluggish, but it is starting to move in the leg channels. And I'm seeing the hip chakras starting to spin. Okay, I'm going to fill all of that in with gold. All right. Thank you for that request. And what I'm going to do for everybody for that same request is clean out your hip chakras and ground your sciatic nerves. You know, we forget about our hip chakras because, and we shouldn't, because we sit a lot all day long in front of the computer, in the car. And so if we don't put our attention on them, they can get kind of clogged. Okay, there we go. Now the energy is flowing up the leg channels, going through the hip chakras and into the first chakra. So let me fill that all in with gold. Okay. I have another request that came in on my phone, so give me 1 minute here. My hubby and I are traveling to Kenya in a few weeks. Can you please check in on our trip to ensure everything goes smoothly and fabulously? Yes. Well, when I look at it in the symbol of a rose for your mock-up, it's a big orange-red rose, and it's beautiful. And it looks very saucy and spicy to me in a very good, positive way. And I can tell you've done a lot of work on grounding it. So it looks really good. I'm going to put a grounding cord on it and just see if there's anything that needs to come out. There's a little bit of white energy having to do with flight, like delays. We want to get that out. And it looks more like flights over there, not like domestic flights. There it goes. Wow, I don't see anything else. It looks really good. I think you're going to have that fabulous time that you're looking forward to. So good job. And I'll fill that in with a big gold sun. Okay. And what I'll do is just ground a rose for everybody in the sanctuary tonight for vacation. I like that. And the first thing I see is energy like, oh no, I can't take one. I can't get away from work. Or I can't afford it. That's all brown energy coming out. Then there's some white energy coming out. Ooh, that's good. That white energy just broke open and it's flowing out. That was like a lot of can't have energy. Oh, that was great because that was, can't have energy just makes things seem unattainable. And a lot of that came out. So that's great. I'm going to fill that rose in with big gold sun. All right. And I will move on. My boyfriend and I move into our apartment together on November 7th. Can you please help ground the energy so that the move goes as smoothly as possible? Okay, let's take a look. November 7th. There's a little bit of worry, grounding that out. For the most part, the mock-up looks pretty darn good. It's a great big red rose. I actually see some concern from your boyfriend, and that's a little bit, it's like some dark blue spots. I'm going to ground that. And there's something coming up about timing that has something to do with the move. So let me ground that. I don't know if you're getting movers or people to help you move, but there's something about the timing that needs to be grounded. Oh, good. That's starting to break up. There's a lot of joy in this rose too. I just wanted to say, as the worries and concerns came out, there's a lot more gold in it and a really nice vibration of enthusiasm. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to fill that in with a big gold sun. Good job. And I'm filling it in with ease. Also that it's a smooth transition and well-grounded. But you did a good job setting it up. All right, thank you for that request. I don't really know how I can translate that to everybody in the sanctuary, so I'm just going to go on to the next question. I'm dealing with financial uncertainty due to issues with my ex. We have several important court dates coming up in the next few months that will determine my financial well-being. The stress and waiting have been challenging. It's affecting my sleep and my peace. Can you do a prosperity healing and set the energy for stability within my money and home space? Okay. So your money space looks pretty good to start with. Let me just say that. It's a nice big red rose. There's some dark energy in there and a little being, which I'll get out, but it's a good mock-up that you have, and it looks hardy. I'm gonna get the being out first. Okay, Supreme Being just came in and moved the being out. Supreme Being is telling me that you have a lot of goodwill on your side and goodwill within the judicial system. Also, I hope you hear me correctly, to not hope for too much, but to get back in your body and ground your mock-up. Like every time you start going into the vibration of hope, you're out in future time. You've got to get back in your body so that you can actually do the creation and be in the body to receive it. So I believe that's why I'm hearing Supreme Being say, don't hope too much, because that's not where you want your energy vibrating at. You don't want it in hope. That's kind of, I think of hope as sort of a worthless vibration because it takes you out of the body, out of creating. And when you just got back in your body, all this orange gold came in. So that was really good. You heard me, so thank you. It brightened up your whole mock-up. Okay, I'm going to fill that in with a big gold sun. I know that might seem hard sometimes to not put your energy in hope because we get programmed to hope for things. Like everybody's like, oh, you should hope for this or hope for that. Get back in the body, do your creation, and then let it go and turn it over to Supreme Being. So your mock-up looks really good. Just filling it in with the big gold sun. All right, good job. So let me see what I can do out of this. Oh, I'll give everybody a healing on their sleep and peace, like peace of mind and sleep, since I didn't address that in the first part. And actually, this just recently came up in one of the programs that I teach called Anatomy of a Spirit. We were working on the first chakra, which governs your adrenal glands. So I'm going to give everybody a healing on their adrenal glands because that has to do with your sleep-wake cycle. Interestingly, most people's left adrenal gland is clearing a lot faster than the right one. I don't really know what that means. I just thought I'd tell you. So one of the ways that we were healing this in class the other night was by using the simple image of a seesaw, which is what I'm going to use here in this healing. Just something very simple, very kindergarten, but it works. Oh, for the sleep-wake cycle. In general, there's more energy. Of course, I'm looking at numerous people, but there's more energy in the wake cycle or the wake end of the cycle, which means there's more energy charged in that. So I'm grounding that because we want to bring that seesaw to balance. Seems to be a lot of worry in the wake cycle. So white energy. Also, what I'm going to call transmedium energy, which is the residue of beings. So we wind up with beings passing through our space during the day, and they can leave their residue, which what I'm seeing has an effect on the body's ability or inability to relax and go to sleep. Good. Starting to almost level out. Okay, I'm going to fill that in with gold. There's numerous ways to address the your ability to sleep. There are a lot of things in the third chakra that can be addressed, but for tonight, I'm just gonna work on that adrenal gland, or I should say adrenal glands. There's two of them. That's cool. That made a difference. Thanks for that request. All right, I'm filling that in with gold. And the seesaw balanced out. All righty. Good request. All right. Is there an emotional or energetic work I should focus on to heal circulation in my legs and help with chronic illness? Well, the first thing I'm going to say is your leg channels. So I'm going to take a look at your leg channels because they need to be functioning in order to keep the blood flowing in your legs, in your veins. So let's take a look at the flow in your leg channels. You know, it's looking better than the last time that I looked at them. So I'm very pleased about that. The channels are a little bit thicker, like a little wider, and the energy is flowing more. It's still kind of a slow climb, but when I looked at them the last time, they were kind of broken up and thin. So that's definitely an improvement. I'm very glad to see that. I'm going to see if I can thin out the earth energy that you're bringing up, right? It's not really the earth energy, it's that you have a lot to clean out of the channels. So you could be drawing your earth energy from a little bit deeper down. And you just changed the color to a lighter, brighter color, and I think that's going to flow better. You were running something that was like a brick red, and then you changed it to a spring green. And I like that you changed it to a spring green because I can see real easily it coming up the channels now. So I would say when you ask if there's anything you can do, it would be to continue running earth energy from really deep down in the planet so it's clean. And remember that you have chakras in the bottom of your feet, your ankles, your knees, and your hips. And those leg channels pass through all of those chakras. All right. Good job. I like what I see. I'm going to fill them in with some gold, but keep running that spring green. That's a good color for you right now. And then I'm going to take a look at everybody else's leg channels. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of light and dark energy in everybody else's leg channels. The center part of the channel is flowing, and that's good, but there's a lot of white energy in there. That's not so good. And then there's a lot of crusty stuff around the kind of the outer part of the channel. So let me give these a healing. Oh, that's good. When I just put my attention on your leg channels, you bring up a faster flow of earth energy, so I can see it working a lot better. It's coming up real fast now. And I just want to make sure that it's moving the energy in the chakras. Good. Good job. All right. I'm going to bring some gold into your leg channels now. All right. Okay. Let me go to the next one. And thanks for that request. Could you look at our ability to absorb and use important vitamins like B1, B12, D, etc., and see if there's anything blocking that ability? Okay. I'm no doctor, but the first thing that I heard was mucus in the body. And there's a white energy that I'm grounding. And behind that white energy is like a thick yellowish white energy. I'm also being told that the spin in the chakras is important, that your chakras need to be spinning in order for everything to flow right, for it to be absorbed. And that it seems like there are foods that actually interfere with the vitamin absorption. Like manufactured foods. The other thing that I see is that it takes it takes a lot of like the B vitamins to be absorbed. And that you don't really get that in food. So you might want to think about doing some kind of supplement to make sure that you get them. There's also a light gray that's being cleared from the body that has, like when I look at the body, it has something to do with blocking the absorption. And some energy in the throat. And I don't know if that's where the mucus is or if that's in the intestines, but there was some more energy in the throat. Yeah, I can tell you your body loves it when you get the vitamin Bs and the vitamin D, because just clearing the energy that blocked it brought in a lot of light. So that was good. Thank you for that request. I'm going to fill everybody in with a big gold sun. I recently was put on a vitamin B like IV drip, and it's like taking rocket fuel. That stuff is amazing. Like a day or two later, I just feel like I have so much energy. So it's funny that you made that request. All right, thank you. I just got back from an out-of-state medical trip for my son. A part of me is emotionally and physically fatigued, and I would like to request a healing on my tangible emotional support creative space, as I was in lack of, and it made it very difficult for me. Sure, absolutely. Well, the first thing that I notice is that you have a lot of holes in your aura that need to be patched. So the fatigue is partly because you're losing a lot of energy out your aura. So let me patch you up first. I'm watching Supreme Being give you a healing at gold, and Supreme Being is taking things out of you that look out of your aura that look like twigs or shards, and then patching the holes. And what's nice about that is once the holes were patched, the energy inside your aura became like a really deep, rich yellow gold, whereas before it was just sort of like a washed out, kind of bland white. Now, Supreme Being is working on your emotional body. And giving you some space to release a lot of what you feel like you have to hold in all the time emotionally. You're very good at putting on a brave face, but your emotional body needs its release. So you know what it looks like if somebody dumps a bucket of water on top of another person? That's what this healing looks like as far as like you're releasing the emotional energy. It's just like a bucket of water coming off of you. So you're doing a very, very good job. And I just heard Supreme Being tell you that your time is coming, that the way I interpret that is there's something special coming up for you. Yeah. And that your hard work that you've been putting in is valued. Okay, I'm going to start filling you in with a big gold sun because you let her rip tonight. You released a lot of energy. And you know what? It's real possible you might be a little weepy tomorrow or the next day. And that's totally okay because that emotional body needs to release. And it might actually physically happen. All right. Good request. Thank you. I think what I'm going to do is for everybody else is check the outside aura, patch any holes. Everybody looks a little ripped and torn, a little shredded. So I'm going to ask Supreme Being to come in and work with me to seal up the auras. That is a lovely healing. Supreme Being came in and patched up the auras, but also brought the auras in closer to your body so they weren't so spread out. So you have more definition now. So thank you, Supreme Being. I'm going to bring in a big gold sun for you. And then I have one more healing for everyone. Ooh, can I get a healing on focus? I have a terrible time focusing recently, especially at work. That's a very interesting request. You have a being that's getting in your head at work. I believe that being has a name. In other words, it's somebody at work is getting in your head. And it looks to me like they have a mustache, like grayish, salt and pepperish, gray mustache. Let me see if I can get him out. Wow, this being is a little stubborn. Think of karma with this person because the being is angry at you. And when I ask what it wants some energy from your space, which tells me that you probably have had a past life with this person and you've kept some of their energy. So let me see if I can find that. It's a midnight blue colored energy, and the being is telling me that that was some of its power. So I'm showing you where you're holding on to it and watching you give that energy back. Well, that's what that being wanted. It just moved out. So now let me just check the inside of your head. Okay, that looks pretty good now. And let me fill that in with gold. It also looks like that being in your head was affecting your hearing too, your ability to not just focus, but to hear correctly. Okay. Good job cleaning that out. So now what I'm going to do for everybody is give you all a center of the head healing. There's a lot of beings coming out. They're like flying out every which way. And what's so great to see is when the center of the head gets cleared, it's really easy to come up and sit in the center of the head. It's no fun when there are beings or people or relatives or family members sitting in your head. But the minute you can move those beings out, then it's fun to get back in the center of your head. All right. Going to fill you in with a big gold sun. And I want to thank you for hanging out and sticking around for all the healings. I have a quick announcement after I close out. So let me just make sure everybody's filled in. All right. May it be with the blessing of divinity that this seek and you will find tonight in the sanctuary be complete. Amen. Oh, thank you. Wonderful questions. I'm so glad you stayed. My announcement is the calendar will be coming out real soon, but I thought I'd give you a little teaser. My special for next month is, drum roll, a family healing, because it's the holidays. So I thought that would be really a great time and space to do a family healing. So that's a 30 to 45-minute healing. It depends on how long it takes me. And that's $100 for the healing. So you can tell me your family members and I'll work on clearing conflict, their communication, and then wrap the whole healing up with a harmony healing. So that's what's coming up in November, along with some other fun stuff. So be on the lookout for the mailer. And got my eyes on you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I will see you. The next event we have will be the first Friday of November for Female Fridays. Okay. And actually, I'll tell you what that is too, because I'm totally into it. Feeling good about yourself. Yeah. So that's going to be November 8th, feeling good about yourself meditation. All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.